I am Heidi Benjaminson, your host of Confidence Coaching, a podcast for mothers of teenagers who want to feel less worry and more hope. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Hello, y'all. Welcome to episode 122, How to Observe Your Thoughts. I'm glad you're here. Before I get into the topic, please continue to rate, review, like, and share this podcast. We are growing, and it's great to see and hear how many longtime listeners have changed their emotional baselines, are calmer, are making connections with their teens and others in their lives. Also, if you are in Maryland, Virginia, the DC area, please make sure you check out the Possibilities Conference, Saturday, March 12th. It will be all day in Columbia, Maryland. I am one of the presenters. It's only $99, such a steal for so many great speakers. And I believe lunch and snacks are also provided. I have a link in the show notes, and I think tickets close around February 25th. So jump on and make sure you get yours. Okay, for today's topic, I have done a lot of episodes, 121 exactly, where I do talk about the importance of slowing down to pay attention to our thoughts and realize that what we think is not just optional, but it impacts what we create in life. I realized that I should give you an entire episode alone of how to observe your thoughts, on how to be the watcher of your thoughts, as Eckhart Tolle says. A month ago, a new client who had just been working with me just a few sessions, she said, I've made such incredible strides and changes by just noticing what I am thinking. A very powerful first step in any change. It's not necessarily changing your thoughts, although that may just happen naturally, but just stopping to watch and observe the thoughts going through our heads can help us stop responding in such emotionally immature ways with our teens, with anyone in the world. So scientists have different numbers of the number of thoughts that we all have coursing through our heads. And the number really doesn't even matter. Let's just all agree that it's a lot. This is what's important. We are not our thoughts. Let me repeat this. I'm a daughter of God. I am a human. I am Heidi. I am not my thoughts. I can have crazy thoughts about anything, but they're just sentences coursing through my head. They do not define me. They don't mean anything. I want you to think of your thoughts as separate from you. They're invisible note cards or items that we carry around. They are for us to manipulate and manage. They are separate from who we are as women, as mothers. I think of each thought as a visitor that comes knocking on my door. I don't have control over the people who knock. I do have control over who I let in, over who I entertain, offer a glass of water, who stays for dinner, and then who becomes family. Often when I start with clients, I'll tell them, we're going to sit on a couch and see your thoughts up on a whiteboard in front of us. I'm not going to judge your thoughts, and I don't want you to judge them. In fact, the only way to create real change is to really dig into our deepest thoughts and bring them to light. No thought is right or wrong. They just are. Then we get to see what this thought is creating in your life. We walk around and we inspect the thought from every angle, ask to see if it's even valid, and more. Sometimes just this questioning dissolves the thought or the belief right away. Other times we hold on to the thoughts. Just know it's super important not to place judgment on your thoughts. And please know, I used to do this, and I work really hard not to say to my coach, okay, this is an awful thought, but, and then I tell her. She knows that we then need to dig into why I'm judging that thought, because I can't make progress without that. There are really good reasons why we think what we think. Our brain is protecting us, or it feels validated in some way. Let every thought be okay. That still doesn't mean we entertain them, but we see them as valid knocking on our door. One way to really observe your thoughts is to stop at points in the day, close your eyes and ask, What am I thinking right now? A good way to observe then is to also write them down. I don't always have time or feel the need to write mine down, but this is very helpful if you can do this maybe once a day or even a few times a week. Recently, I found myself tense and feeling overburdened, and I got really still and I noticed, I'm thinking this is too much. I don't want to do all of these things. I noticed all of these heavy thoughts, and by just seeing them, I realized they're not true. I realized these thoughts are too heavy for me right now. They were easy to dismiss, and I felt lighter right away. Every morning, ask yourself, what am I thinking about myself? I always observe what I think before and after I weigh myself, or on the way to the gym. I'm especially aware of my thoughts before coaching a client because I don't want to bring my own perceptions and assumptions into a session. I observe what I'm thinking as my kids walk in the door after school. I just check in, okay, what am I thinking now? I've given you a lot of tools in almost every episode here about ways to manage these thoughts. Today, I really just want you observing. One way to stop any judgment and just watch your thoughts is to respond when you see a thought by saying, okay, good to know. Or sometimes I say, okay, how interesting that I'm thinking this person shouldn't be driving that way. I see what I'm thinking and I just say, oh, interesting. Our thoughts are like flies buzzing around. And when we catch one, that's kind of annoying. We grab them and then we inspect them from every angle. And then we decide what to do. Maybe you see your child spilt milk all over the whole kitchen and you have a momentary thought, I want to kill them. Just see that thought as a reflex, and it's just representative of how angry you are. You aren't a killer. You don't even want to hurt them. We all have ridiculous thoughts. If we didn't, we'd be robots. I realized by observing my thoughts how my constant low-level ticker tape type thoughts have changed over the last many years as I've grown my business. I've done so much new, and on my own, I now have this belief that I can figure anything out because I have figured quite a bit out. I notice how much I now think this on default. I can figure this or that out. It's a thought I see, and I'm grateful that it's running pretty constantly in my brain. By simply observing my thoughts, I was able to catch a pretty destructive thought I was having about one of my children and their potential and their capabilities. I saw the thought or the belief I had, and I just let it be like hanging in midair for a while. I observed it, I saw it driving a lot of interactions I had, and I saw how it was limiting me and them. I didn't try to change the thought at first. I just saw how I thought this child needed me more than they really did. Then I started to observe the ways in which I was wrong. I didn't even intentionally try to change the thought. I just brought the thought to the forefront of my brain and I made it very separate from me and my child. I didn't feed fuel to it either. It lost some power, and at the same time, I still believe some of it. But watching that thought gives me power over it when I need it. Our brains are very plastic, meaning that they're very malleable. We can change. Nothing is set in stone. Sure, we might have genetic or environmental predispositions to negativity or positivity. The important thing to remember is that we can change. This is really good news for a lot of us. Even things you believe are true, we can still rewire these thoughts if they're creating results you don't like. Beliefs are just thoughts that you've been thinking for so long, so many times over and over that they become beliefs. We then prove them true. Our confirmation bias takes our thoughts and only finds evidence to prove them true. So we build up filing cabinets of evidence to prove that we're right. So we then only see the world with our beliefs. This is generally helpful, but sometimes it isn't. If you believe you aren't smart, this is just a thought. It isn't true. There's evidence to prove otherwise if you look for it. If you believe your teen hates you, this is just a thought. Who knows if it's true? Maybe you strongly dislike them for a portion of the day. Keep that thought separate from you and them. If you believe everything will work out for you, this is also just a thought. You'll find evidence that the universe is conspiring for you and things will work out. Notice the ways in which you feel confident about your skills and talents. Notice the times when you dread going to see someone because of the things that you think about them. Notice what you think when you take action. Notice what you think when you procrastinate or avoid doing things. I notice every morning when I go to the gym, I say, I just do it. It's who I am. Nothing more. It's a pretty simple conversation with myself. This morning, I noticed some thoughts really distancing me from people that I was going to see. I then observed and I saw the thoughts as separate from me. They immediately lost some of their power. It was easy for my brain to replace them after I consciously observed them. This happens often for me at dinner time. I'll be full of obligation and be thinking I have to make dinner. I see that thought, and by just watching it in my brain, I then can easily change it to I'm choosing to make dinner. I don't even have to consciously switch it now. After I observe the original thought, my higher brain is suddenly on track and knows a more useful thought for me, and it switches it. As simple as it seems, it's a powerful tool that is the foundation of any mindfulness and thought work, which I believe is so powerful. Like my client saw after doing this for just a week or two, it anchors us back to calm and control. We suddenly have access to more ways to handle situations. We have a window into what is driving us to act the way we do. We suddenly see exactly why we're feeling the way we are. This week, observe, watch your thoughts, and see what you learn. Don't judge. Just be a compassionate and thoughtful observer. And send me messages about any breakthroughs that you have. That's it for this week. If you would like personalized weekly private one-on-one coaching to change destructive and limiting thought patterns, sign up for a consult call at HeidiBenjaminson.com. A confident mother is the greatest gift to her family, not a perfect mother. Our families want us to feel confident, anchored, and calm. I can help you uncover this version of yourself. Have a great week.